And an epiphany is like just the ability to accept you've been wrong for so long. And that's such a valuable skill that I think is missing, and it's so hard to do because it's like the internet exists to be like, you were wrong. It's like, we should be embracing that. Like, you were wrong, but that's okay. Like, as long as you had this realization, like, oh, I had an epiphany because I said this, and then somebody pointed out that logic
and then you
also
learn,
means this.
Yeah, you take in new information and grow. Welcome to the Love and Comedy Podcast, where two stand-up comedians talk pursuing love while pursuing a career in stand-up comedy. I am one of your hosts. I also forgot to say that we're two married stand-up comedians.
Yes.
And I'm one of your married hosts. We're married to each other. I am one of your hosts, Aurora Singh.
And I'm your other host, Drew Shafer. You really needed that note.
I know.
that phone.
Yeah, I know. This is the first time I'm doing the intro without the phone. Look at me go.
Yay. We're live. We're off script. Yay.
We're live in our closet.
Woo woo. I think this is a good one to go off script for, because today we're going to be talking about breakthroughs and epiphanies.
Oh my gosh, what do you mean by that?
I mean those moments in life, whether it's in a relationship or with comedy, where something is said or done that changes how you view it. So whether that's somebody saying something to you after a set, or in a relationship realizing something about your partner or how you deal in a relationship, those big changes.
I'm excited to talk about this. So let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
So let's do some fun background questions.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
When it comes to, first of all, breakthrough and epiphanies, like, let's define that really quick. Like, what does that mean and why are those important?
Yeah, to me, it's just really like something that shifts your paradigm, like some thought or action that changes the world forever for you. How about you?
I think I agree, which is so boring, right? I always hate when we agree, but I agree because, a breakthrough or epiphany, whether it's in a relationship or just your life, it's like, it's something that it almost, for me, I think of it as like, if life was a simulation, that's like a clue that's like, oh my God, that's what I needed. Like, that was the code. That was the code, or something, like someone gave me a hint that was like, here you go. Like, here's the hint. Is she going to pick it up? Oh, she picked it up. Great. Like, that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a recent...
I was just going to ask you that. Okay, go ahead.
Cute.
Ask me first.
Yeah, that's cute. What's a recent epiphany you've had in your life? Not like
in general?
Comedy. Yeah.
A recent epiphany I've had in general, I think I don't know if it's so much an epiphany or just like coming out on the other side, but I feel like in every aspect of my life I've been plateauing recently, and I think that I go through these waves in life where I just am like doing really great and I'm grinding and I'm going up and I go up and I go up, and then I get to the top, and then not to the top, but I get to where I wanted to be, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm here, what's next? And so I feel like I'm kind of in the process of having an epiphany, because not every epiphany or breakthrough for me is like instantaneous. It's like some of it takes a little while, and I think right now I'm getting really close to being in an epiphany for like the way that I eat and exercise and like work-life balance and comedy and relationship. Like, I feel like I'm just plateaued in everything, but I feel so like there's something inside of me that I'm like, something's coming. So I'm gonna see a hint, something's happening. Every time I feel like this, something happens where I'm like, oh, okay, and then I go with it, and then it ends up better. Yeah,
well, I mean, by definition, like, a breakthrough means that something's in the way. So, like, when you're facing all these obstacles, you're facing this plateau, it's like, that's setting up for a true breakthrough, because something's going to have to change. So
yeah, that's true.
You're just gearing up. You're gearing up.
What about you?
For me, it's kind of like both for myself and others. I realized that people who are angry are actually probably either sad or scared.
Oh, okay.
So, like, whether it's myself or others, when you see, like, somebody screaming at, like, a customer service person or screaming at somebody else, it's like they're sad or they're scared and they don't know how to express it, because you can't just be like, I'm scared, I don't understand what's going on. Like,
because then you're vulnerable.
You're vulnerable, and it's so scary to be vulnerable. So instead you act tough, you act scary, you get angry. It's like, if you just listen to those people and let them feel heard and hear the sadness, the fear, it can take the wind out of their rage sails, basically.
It can, what I'm hearing is like it creates a safe space for them, because if someone is acting like angry because they're fearful or scared or sad, they don't feel like they're in a place that's safe, that they can be vulnerable. Like, human instinct is to protect and stay alive.
Yeah.
And if they don't feel like that, then they fight.
They do.
And so if you create an environment and you say, hey, I hear what you're saying, like, you're okay, then it creates that space for them to go, oh, I won't die if I'm vulnerable here. Like, I can show my belly, and they're like, yeah, you can show your belly. Like, it's fine. We want to, you want to give you a belly rub.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a great way of
we have a dog now. Should I?
Yeah, that's. I hope you're not rubbing bellies of strangers out in public. Yeah, it's like they need to be listened to. Like, sometimes people are yelling because they don't feel understood or listened to, and they don't realize that screaming doesn't make it easier to hear.
Are you getting this from couples therapy? What is this epiphany from? Is this about me? It's
no.
About me. Am I the drama?
No, it's like it's a combination of like the therapy I did personally myself a year ago, paired with just like a lot of customer service lately at my job, where it's like, oh, this person's acting this way because they are clueless or they're scared or whatever. Like, if you can just be the calming, reassuring presence, it takes the wind out of their sails so quick, where they're just like, okay, yeah, no, I'm having a rough day because my grandma's dying and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, so you're sad about that?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with what's going on.
Yeah.
So let's just focus on this, so it's one less thing.
Yeah.
This is now an HR meeting.
It is. I mean, why would you get into HR if you're not going to use it in your life to make it better, you know?
I guess.
So
it wasn't your choice to be in HR.
It wasn't.
But yeah, no, I think it's important, because these epiphanies and breakthroughs that like we're even talking about just in life, like, they are so important because they help you grow as a person.
Yeah.
And without those breakthroughs or epiphanies, you kind of just sit, and that's fine. Like, you can be like happy in what you're doing in that moment, but if you never have epiphanies, then, and you're not growing, it's difficult to stay happy.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like, I'm not talking about like comparing yourself to other people and like being happy and then being better than other people. Just like learning how to communicate with others makes you happy because you know that you're moving with good intentions, or, you know, moving in your health journey. Like, our bodies grow and change, so we have to mentally grow and change, and you can't do that without having, you know, some frustrating moments, and then breaking through those like walls.
Yeah, and an epiphany is like just the ability to accept you've been wrong for so long, and that's such a valuable skill that I think is missing, and it's so hard to do because it's like the internet exists to be like, you were wrong. It's like, we should be embracing that. Like, you were wrong, but that's okay. Like, as long as you had this realization, like, oh, I had an epiphany because I said this, and then somebody pointed out that logic,
and then you
also
learn
means this.
Yeah, you take in new information and grow.
Yeah. So
let's talk about how it goes into our like relationship.
Definitely.
The love part of our podcast.
Yay, love. Because obviously we've been together 9 years almost now, and we've had a lot of changes and
I mean, most of our 20s, like we've been together most of our 20s. So there's a lot of changes that happen in your 20s by yourself, and now you're like adding a whole ass relationship to it. It's a lot. Yeah,
you're learning about the world while also trying to learn about some other person and how their perspective is different, and it's evolving, maybe at the same time, maybe different times, maybe differently than each other.
Yeah, and that's scary.
Yeah, so you have to have these like constant epiphanies, and there's like things where a partner will say, oh, I feel this way when this happens, and you suddenly realize like, you mean for 9 years, every time this happens, you felt that way? And it's it's like,
why didn't you say that?
Why didn't you say that? I wouldn't have done that. Or, oh, I would have done that more. Like, oh, every time you do this, it makes me so happy. Why weren't you doing it? Because I didn't know.
Yeah. Exactly. So for love, Drew.
Yes.
What is the first moment you knew we belonged together? We're just going to go right into it. Yeah.
The first thing about you that made me realize, like, okay, she could be something was watching your first time ever doing stand-up comedy.
Aww.
Because it was just like, there was this confidence, and I could tell you were in it for the right reasons. Like...
But that's when you knew you wanted to be with me?
That was, like, the first interest. But I think, like, as silly as it's going to be, like, the first time I was like, okay, she's somebody I definitely have to date and not just, like, be around, was probably when we performed with Joey Diaz.
Oh, my God.
And there was just, like, this moment afterwards where, like, you hugged me and we were talking, and it was just, like, we were both a little vulnerable, just really honest, and it was just, like, okay, yeah, this is something real. Like, there could be something here that I want to develop.
Wow, I don't remember that at all. Like, I remember I remember talking to Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
I don't remember talking to you at all after that.
Yeah, we just, like, everybody was doing all their little things off to the sides, and we just had a good conversation, and I was like, okay, like, she's mature-ish.
Were we dating when we performed with Joey Diaz,
No.
or we were just talking and hanging out?
Yeah, we hadn't even, like, gone on a date at that point.
What?
No, that was still when Aurora used to do two things that were just like, what are you doing, girl? One, she would walk in and she would see, like, I'd be wearing blue shirts kind of like this or more greenish. And she'd be like, oh, did you know that wearing that color blue, what was it, makes you...
Oh, yeah. Wearing light blue as a man makes you subconsciously more attractive to women because it reminds them of, like, their dad or, like, a father figure. And so it makes, like, women are subconsciously attracted to men wearing light blue, just like men are subconsciously more attracted to women that wear red nail polish.
Interesting.
And smell like vanilla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See? And so she would just walk over and randomly be like, ooh, you're wearing that shirt to be more attractive. I'm like, she's saying I'm attractive.
No, and that's the funny thing. It's like, I wasn't saying any of that to, like, flirt with you. I was just giving you information.
You're just walking over. Yeah, being as attractive as you are makes women love you. And I'm like, oh, what? There was that.
Wow, we were in two different worlds.
Two different worlds.
We were into, like, that is not...
Like, in my life, I've gotten, like, very obvious hints and not seen them, and gotten not a hints that I thought were obvious hints.
Yeah, these were not a hints.
And then the other one was Aurora used to do this thing. She's like, if you need to calm down, you just need to be hugged firmly for 20 seconds. And then you just hug me for 20 seconds. And, like, we didn't know each other. We were just, like, two comedians. And you're like, I'm going to hug you for 20 seconds.
God, that is so funny. Because I was literally just in college and I was pre-med. So I was in all these stupid science classes learning about anatomy and physiology and just, like, sharing my knowledge. And this guy is like, oh my God, she's obsessed with me.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Oh my God. No, that wasn't it. But I'm glad it worked out. I mean, you know, it ended up working out fine.
It did.
Thank God you thought it was that, you know?
Yeah, because I would have missed the obvious signs when you finally started thinking I was attractive for real. Not just...
That is not the... So those two things... First of all, I don't remember the Joey Diaz thing at all.
Okay.
I do remember the light blue, the sharing information with you. That is not the answer. Those are not the answers I thought you were going to say.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say that you had an epiphany or a breakthrough the time where I stood you up with the coffees and then I came and hung out with you all day at the there was a conference or something.
Yeah, it was like a health conference or something. No, I didn't think you liked me at that point. I thought you just felt so guilty.
Okay, so this is what had happened. Drew, I was texting Drew the night before a call, or Drew and I talked on the phone or something, and he was like, oh, what's your favorite Starbucks order? And I told him, he's like, okay, I'll have that for you tomorrow morning when you come pick up these tickets, because I was selling tickets to the comedy show that weekend. And I was like, cool, bet, 7:30 a.m., totally, gonna be there. Wasn't there. Didn't show up. I slept through my alarm. I completely flaked on him. Cut to Drew Shafer alone outside in the middle of downtown Reno, sitting on some steps by himself, holding two Starbucks drinks, just waiting. I felt so bad picturing this little guy.
Yeah.
And he's just waiting. And then I called him. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I overslept. He's like, you got to come. If you want this drink, You better come all the way down to South Reno, which was like a 30-minute drive. Yep. Come get this drink and these tickets. I'm not doing this for you anymore. And I was like, oh my God, that's so fair. I'll go. And so I went and I was like, I'm just going to pick it up and leave at this conference in this conference hall. And I ended up staying. I like skipped my afternoon class. I skip a lot of classes. I've realized on this podcast, like, what did I even go to school?
I don't think you did.
Where did I learn all this information about science?
No idea. No idea.
Google?
Literally no idea.
So anyways, then I went to go pick it up. And then you've told me, though, that was a defining day for you when I like stayed to hang out, because I was only supposed to pick it up and then go to my class.
I mean, I kind of thought maybe there was like some interest, but I don't think it was. I don't think that was as strong. It was like, I don't know. That was a day I remember, obviously.
It's a day you remember. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's cool. So when I'm doing things like telling you scientific facts and holding you in my arms, which saying it out loud, I'm like, I could see where you would think that I liked you.
Yeah. That also just sounds like the weirdest, weirdest kink.
Nerd.
Like, I love when you just tell me all the names of the planets and exclude Pluto. Oh yeah, don't tell me about Pluto. Too small and blue.
Oh my God, just like you, small and blue in your blue shirt. Okay, but like, so what was it about that though that was like, oh, I want to like hang out with, I want to ask her on a date?
I mean, I think it was like that you, like I said, had like the confidence, you had the sense of humor, and those were things I was like, okay, I really respect those. I'm looking for those. And then it was paired with, oh, she seems interested in me too. So I'm going to actually go for it. Because obviously, I don't know, I feel like, especially back when we met, there was a lot of this, like, I'm a nice guy, girls ignore me. Like, there was that.
That's how you felt.
That's how I felt, and a lot of guys did. It was like,
I mean, a lot of guys still do. Yeah, a lot of guys still do. That don't grow and develop and have epiphanies or breakthroughs. Exactly. They still believe that
Exactly.
shit. Yes.
So for me, it was like, okay, I'm tired of being this guy who doesn't understand when a woman's trying to say, like, I'm not interested. So, like, it was right as I was starting to be like, oh, she's just being polite. I'm being, like, weird or whatever. Because I also had, female friends who were more into me than I was into them. And I'm like, oh, that's what it's like. So it became this moment of, if a woman's not interested, I'm not going to pursue. I'm not going to make it weird for her. So it was like, right as that was happening was when you started showing me what I thought were signs of interest. And then it just kept like growing and growing. So I was like, okay, she's not avoiding me. She's not, ghosting
yeah, I definitely was not avoiding you. That for sure was not happening.
So yeah, it was just like, okay, she has these traits I'm looking for and she's interested. So let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah. How about you?
So I had an answer, and then as you were talking, I thought of something else to add to that answer.
Okay.
So the night I think that it switched for me, like my epiphany, was the night that Drew had a really old car. What kind of car was it?
It was. That's a security question. I don't want to answer.
Never mind. It was an old car.
It was an older car, yeah.
Drew had an older car.
Over 100,000.
This was before we had any kind of like income, basically. Like when we were broke, early 20s.
Yeah, when I was still a teacher.
Yeah. Just say what it is. When Drew was a teacher, he was broke and couldn't afford anything.
Exactly.
So anyway, so Drew had this really old car, and it broke down as he was coming into Reno from Yerington, which Yerington from Reno to Reno is like an
hour and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hour and a half.
Oh, I thought it was like 2 hours.
No.
Anyways, it's a drive, and he drove into Reno for the weekend. I'm at my friend's house, and we're all getting ready to go out for like a girls' night dinner thing, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, girls' night. I'm texting Drew. Drew's texting me. Drew texts me and calls me and goes, oh my gosh, my car broke down in Sparks, which if you don't know Reno, Sparks is basically Reno. Like it's like the same town. But so I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm just like kind of parked in this dark street and blah, blah, blah. I was like, now I'm in this moment of like, wait, I have plans to go out with my girlfriends, but this guy that I'm like hanging out with is like all alone. And I had this moment of like, well, I think I'd rather go hang out with him in a broke down car.
Yeah, and wait for the tow truck to
and
come
wait
get
for
it,
the tow truck. Like that was like, I had those two options, and I was like, bye guys. And I told them where I was going, and I went and met you, and we like hung out. And I think we maybe got food or something. And then we became official the next day.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause because Drew stayed the night. Ow. But no, because you stayed the night, and the next day we like made it official. Actually, I did, because you had already asked me and I said no.
Yeah.
But the next day, so I think that night was like a big turning moment for me. But as talking about like breakthroughs, because breakthroughs can happen over time.
Yeah,
right. It
they
like
can.
takes a build, because you can't just like punch through a brick wall.
No.
You have to sometimes chip away at it.
Yep.
You know, bring in machinery, all the shit. Right.
Yeah.
So like, as you were talking about the comedy club, I was like, you know what? You know what pushed me, I think, was that there was a woman that worked at the comedy club. What was her name?
Jay?
Jay!
Lady Jay? Yeah.
Lady Jay!
Yeah.
Holy okay. Lady Jay would see the way that you and I interacted, and she would always talk to me like when we were alone, and she'd be like, "Oh my, Aurora, you and Drew are just so adorable. I just see the way your eyes light up when you see him." And I was like, "No, they don't. Ew, gross. You don't know me. Like, don't talk to me like that, Lady J." I was so mad at her, because I was like, I'm single, independent, and I'm just hanging out with Drew and we're fine, right?
Yeah.
But she kept pointing out like, no, like every time you're with him, you're so happy, blah, 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 all this stuff, like super obnoxiously cute, barf, I want to throw up stuff. Yeah. But then I was like, and then I started to hear from other people too. And I was like, well, maybe they're all seeing something I'm not seeing, right? Like even in myself. Because I had also just been done with guys at this point. Like I didn't want to date. I didn't want to be I really wanted to be single. I was graduating college.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things. I was like maybe moving. There's a lot of things in the way of me wanting to be in a relationship. But people kept telling me how happy I was around you. So I was like, okay, maybe I should just like let myself be happy. Yeah. And then I think that night when your car broke down, that was a night for me to go, oh, well, I think I would be more happy in the broke down car. And then I went for it.
Nice.
So it was a breakthrough that got pushed until that night. That became an epiphany for me. And then that's when I was like, I can't keep fighting this feeling. Like, I enjoy being around you. I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy listening to music with you. I enjoy, why am I fighting all of this happiness? And then I decided to go with you. This is so disgusting. It's so gross. I'm like feeling, I'm like, did you just see me itch my neck? Yeah. I'm like getting itchy just like talking like this.
Ew, I love you. Ew,
oh
gross.
God, it's
Cooties.
so like, yeah, it's so weird for me to say it. But yeah, it's the truth. And it's like one of those, it's like you said, you know, you probably saw it before I did, the way that I was acting. I didn't realize that I was doing that, but everyone around me did. And it was like that slow breakthrough to the epiphany of being like, Aurora, you can be happy. Like, just be happy.
Yep.
Don't overthink it. Which you guys already know I do, because we had a whole episode on it.
We did.
But
we've had breakthroughs. We've had epiphanies with each other in our relationship. But I think comedy also is sort of like a spot where you think you're doing it right for so long, and then something happens and you're like, oh, I can do that instead?
I also think it's really important to have breakthroughs and epiphanies in comedy, because for so long in doing stand-up, there is no reassurance that you're doing anything right.
No.
Like, there's nothing. Like, yes, at a certain point, you get some kind of something in a competition or something that's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing something, right? But for like a long time, you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants and hoping for the best. Yeah. So you need these like breakthroughs and epiphanies to keep you going. Otherwise, you don't grow as a performer. Yeah.
And it's like you're doing open mics with other open mic people and nobody knows for sure. And you're just trying things. And it's, people are too nice. Nobody's going to walk over and be like, you suck, you need to do this, this, and this. Like, you just have to keep working your way through it. And sometimes things happen on stage or off stage that change how you do comedy.
I think this could also be a conversation a lot of people don't know, and maybe a lot of new comics don't know, how to get from open mics, like how to get past just open mics. I mean, it's kind of different everywhere, but it also is kind of not. It's kind of the same. Yeah. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't.
No, so I mean, let's talk about some of the stages. So that's a great question from the beginning. Like, you start out as an open micer. What are some of the first things you start to learn and ways you start to evolve, do you think?
I think, man, that's difficult, because I think the first step in like learning and evolving is having an open mind and a good attitude, because so many times I've gone to smaller towns and I'm like, you know, you and I have been like, oh, let's just pop in for an open mic. Let's just see what's going on. And you hear the comedians talk and they're like, I don't get booked because of this. I'm doing everything right. And it's just bullshit. And it's like, whoa, what have you done differently in your power and your control? And what is this attitude?
Yeah. It's something where there's like a little bit of delusion, which is needed. You need a little bit to keep going when you first start out, because you kind of suck. There's very few who start out anything, whether it's comedy or something else, with any skill. So it's like you need a little bit of delusion. But yeah, some people, it's just too far, and then they get negative about it. They're convinced they're the greatest thing. It's like, stay humble.
They think that they're the greatest undiscovered comedian in the world.
Yeah.
And they haven't moved past an open mic.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've seen it. There were parts of me that even I remember being like, I should be headlining already when I was like 3 or 4 years in.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I commend comedians who are like, I never felt that way, but I'm also like, I think you're lying just a little bit. Like, you're lying, because when I first started, I was like, I have a hot 45. Easy.
Yeah.
And then I tried to fill 4 minutes, and I was like, oof, ooh, whoa. Like, this is so hard.
Yeah.
You know? So I think people are lying a little bit. I did learn quickly, but it's because I had and have always had a very open and good attitude towards growth in stand-up. Mm-hmm. I think that you do too, because we're both competitive people. So like, you can't get better without falling on your face and then having someone come in and go, this is how you don't fall on your face again. And you're like, oh my God, thank you, because that hurts.
Yeah. It's like you get lucky if you seem to be in it for the right reasons and you seem open to feedback. Then comedians want to help each other. And that's like when I mentioned Joey Diaz, it's like we had these headliners coming through Reno that would see us, could tell that we cared, and they would be like, okay, well, here's what you can do to be better.
Yeah, and then getting that insight from different touring headlining comedians, getting that insight is just like so invaluable, because is that the right word? Invaluable? Valuable? How do
like
I use
invaluable would be like, yeah, like you can't put a value on it. Yeah,
it's priceless. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, it's very good information to have, because you're getting different perspectives and different professional perspectives. So like an example is, speaking of epiphanies we've had in comedy, right? I think is that one of the questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the questions is, how have we changed and evolved in stand-up? And we have these epiphanies. Steve Trevino came through Reno, and he sat me down. You down?
Billy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The guy, remember from episode 1 where we talked about the guy that was super attractive that got Aurora into comedy? She just confused me for him. Trauma.
Oh, good memories with Billy. All right, so
I mean, I was there, but I was working, so I was back and forth. But you and Billy were like sat down,
it was
locked
me and
in.
Billy, and I think one other comedian who obviously didn't take the advice.
Yeah.
But Steve Trevino sat us down. I don't think Steve probably doesn't remember this at all, but his little moment in doing this changed my comedy career forever.
Yeah.
He sat us down after watching our sets, which is so sweet. He was like, called a meeting. He was like, everyone grab a chair, sit, we're talking right now. And he goes, Aurora, what are you? And I told him, I'm a human being. He said, no. No, I said, I'm Haitian and Indian. And he goes, that's fantastic. The thing is, when you go on stage, people are looking at you. You're a very beautiful woman. Oh my God. Thank you, Steve. You're a very beautiful woman, but we can't quite place you. And so when you tell us your jokes, you're a good writer, but we can't focus on what you're saying wholeheartedly because we're like, what is she? He explained it like when you go watch a movie and you see someone in the movie that you're like, where have I seen, what, who is this character? I've seen this actor in another movie or something. Who is this? And you can't fully, you're enjoying the movie. You can't fully focus on the movie because you're trying to guess the actor.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to place the actor.
Yep.
It's the same thing. And I was like, oh, okay. So he said, at the beginning of your set, It doesn't have to be a whole thing, but you need to talk about what you are. And I started doing that. Literally the next show, I was like, okay, I'm just going to tell them. I'm not even going to make a joke. I'm going to be like, I'm Haitian and Indian, blah, blah, blah. Go into my set. Literally instantly, my laughs were bigger. They were longer because people could focus.
Yeah.
They didn't have to place me.
Nope.
That note changed me in my career forever.
And it's a big one for everybody. It's like, if there's an elephant in the room, address it, whether it's something about your appearance or something in the room. And that's why you see so many comedians and why it's becoming like overdone, like I look like this, because you're trying to address it. But it's when you advance beyond just I look like this and you find something specific and unique and still satisfies the audiences, like, where do I know them from? What are they? Once you hit that, that's a great start. And then you can go. And if there's nothing remarkable about you, then just start with whatever your joke you have.
Yeah.
But almost everybody has something.
But even if there's nothing, quote unquote, remarkable about you, first off, there probably is.
Yeah. You just haven't found it.
Yes. And second off, talk about how there's nothing remarkable about you. Like, if you were such a plain Jane or a plain Joe or a plain Josephina, I tried to make the name fit everybody, but just talk about that. Be like, I am so plain. You probably all think you've seen me before. Yeah. That's how plain say something to address it. Because if you're that plain, it's probably an elephant in the room. Yeah. Yeah, but that was an epiphany for me. That was like
epiphany early on, yeah.
Yeah, man. And another one that really struck me, I don't remember who told me, but they were like, hey, move the mic stand. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Yeah. And for people who don't do stand-up, that means move the mic stand out of in front of you. Yep. Like from in front of you to the side. Someone told me, they said, hey, when you get on stage, the stage is yours. Make it your home. So Take that second. People don't even notice it. Move the mic stand so it's out of your way, wherever you want to put it. But if you leave it in front of you in the audience, it creates a barrier. Yep. I was like, oh, shit. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what about you? What's an epiphany or breakthrough you've had in stand-up? Did you find it yourself or did someone hand it to you? Mine?
Yeah, so, same thing with, address the elephant in the room. That was a big one. One of the biggest, epiphany moments was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I was going down to Phoenix to do a show at the Tempe Improv. And I had just started having fun in my set. It used to be I know I'm a good joke writer, so I'm going to show how smart I am and how clever my jokes are. And it was Tempe and a few weeks before when I won the competition to get me the show at the Tempe Improv was just go out and have fun. The crowd's there to have fun. If you're having fun, then it's just going to go well for everybody. And I remember walking off that stage and all the comedians on the show were like, holy shit, what was that? I've never seen that side of you. And I'm like, oh, I'm just having fun with it now. And then I thought oh, it's going to be like this every time. And then there would become shows where it's the crowd has no energy. They're not fun. And then I would suck. And so it was oh, they're not always fun like that. And so the last couple of years have been how do I become so fun that even those crowds are oh, this is cool. Let's enjoy it.
So how do you do that? How do you approach that? You just said, sometimes I go in front of crowd. How do I need to go in front of crowds and have so much fun that they are also having fun? How do you do that? What does that mean? Yeah.
So for me, it's being me. If you're at a party, you're not sitting there going hi, how are you?
You're not trying to be fun.
You're not trying to be fun. You're not trying to be funny. You're just being yourself. And it's the same thing on stage. If you're just having a good time, you're going to think up jokes on the spot that are so funny and so in the moment. And that's what the crowd is looking for. They want to think you're just spitting all these jokes out of your mouth off the top of your head.
I think that just comes with being grounded. Everything you're saying that you had an epiphany to go up on stage and and make everyone feel like they're having fun because you're having fun. Yeah. The only way you can have fun is by being in the moment and being grounded in what you're doing. Yep.
And that's been it was a big epiphany years ago, and I just could not figure out why it wasn't working every time. And it's recently is where I'm you know what? Yeah. Why am I stressed? If I'm stressed, they're stressed. If I'm having fun and I know my jokes are funny, which most of them I know are, not all of them, then it's way more fun for me.
Yeah, and I think the longer you do stand-up, the more you realize that the stage time is the reward.
Yeah, it is. All the hard work is the writing, the watching tape, social media, networking.
The marketing, the emails, all that stuff. So, yeah, it's that is the reward. So why would you not enjoy the reward? Go on stage. This is the best part of our job. This is the whole reason we started was to do stage time, not to do all the business side, right? Yeah. But you go on stage, have fun, because it's the greatest job in the world. We get to go on stage and tell jokes and bring people from all different backgrounds together and laugh together. It's so cool. If you're having fun, they're having fun. That's a great epiphany. I
think, and the other one, because I definitely want to bring it up, it happened just over 2 years ago.
I feel like I know what this is.
I've been telling you about it nonstop because it popped up in my memories.
This was a really big moment for you.
Huge moment. So we did a show at a brewery in Rancho Cordova. And I went up there and the crowd was kind of loud and energetic and whatever. And I did joke. And some of them got some laughs and some of them it was people sort of not paying attention. And then Aurora went up and just had a great set. Her standard, just great set. And I was like, okay, good. We're both amazing comedians. This is cool. And then a guy after the show was like, hey, when you're up there, I can tell you know how to write a setup and a punchline. You're a writer, you're good. But Aurora, she's funny. She can talk about anything and make me laugh. She's actually funny.
That's so...
And cue the Michael Jordan, and I took that personally meme because I did. I was like, what you mean? Everything that she says is funny. I was I didn't say it out loud, but I sort of nodded and went, okay, thanks, because he was drunk and whatever. But the next set that I got was at Laughs Unlimited, and I just went out there and didn't do jokes. I just talked from the heart about things that made me mad or upset or weird things about me. And at that time, it was the best set of my life.
This is the cool part of this is that this isn't the first time you've heard, not this feedback, but I have told you, and I've heard other comedians tell you and bookers tell you, you have your best sets when you go on stage and you're just being yourself and having fun, right? Going up and not trying to be the cool guy at a party. Yeah. You're just going up there and being a comedian and being funny. But you had a hand, you had a big hand come into your reality and drop you off a little clue in the most abrupt way, so you couldn't ignore it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel everything in your career has been this is what you need to do, Drew. This is what you need to do. I've said it. Other comedians have said it. And you're yeah. But this was that big hammer that came down that was this is what you need to do. And I'm not going to let you ignore it this time because it's going to hurt.
It's in sports, every coach is basically saying the same thing. But some coach will have the right way of saying it at the right time where you're oh, that's why I'm not getting the rebound, because he just explained where my feet have to be, when I have to jump, what I should be looking at, whatever it is. And suddenly
that
it's
little puzzle
boom.
Piece. Yeah.
And for me, the anger of, somebody saying I sucked basically was I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you took it however you took it, because obviously it helped you, but I don't think he meant that you sucked. I think that he meant that I'm a performer. Honestly, he insulted me too in the process, because he said, "Oh, Aurora can tell a joke," but he didn't say that I had good jokes. He was like, "You have good jokes, but Aurora is funny." It's does that mean I don't? Yeah. So he was.
Did I tell you I saw him maybe 6 months ago at a show?
Yeah, you did. But tell the listeners.
Yeah, so I see this guy.
You don't need to look in the camera and tell him.
I need to tell him. I need to break it down. Did you know? So I saw him, and he remembered me, but not fully. And I was expecting him to say something afterwards, oh my God, yeah, you're so much better now. Nothing. So anticlimactic. I was you changed my comedy by being so mean without trying to be mean. And I'm and he doesn't even know. Those
people that are impactful in our lives don't even realize it, and they don't care.
Ooh, the epiphany.
Yeah, it's
that's an epiphany during the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
The people who are most impactful impactful have no idea. So maybe we are the most impactful person for somebody.
We could be. In everyone's story, I'm probably a villain. In someone's story, I'm a hero. In someone's story, I'm the person that gave them an epiphany and then kept it moving.
Yep.
And I don't even remember them.
Yeah.
It's just the way life is. That's why you just can never try and make anyone happy, because people are going to make their minds up about you anyway. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are good epiphanies. I mean, you needed that moment because maybe around that time nothing was really happening in comedy, and then that gave you a push to push past that and get better, right?
Yeah, it really did.
Because you were open to it, you received it, and then you applied it and got better. That's what we need in stand-up, because who knows, maybe if you didn't hear that or register it, you would still be doing the same thing that you were doing 2 years ago and still beating your head against a wall. Doing
jokes and being like, this joke is objectively funny. Every part of it, it's well written, it's a rule of 3, or it's a blah, blah, blah. Why am I not doing better? And instead now it's I go on stage and I'm just like, what's up, everybody? Let's talk. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Yeah. It's so good to have these things. It's just so frustrating when, right now, I feel like I'm just going through and I don't have those epiphanies or breakthroughs yet right now, but I know it's going to come, and I know that it's going to be so worth it.
It is.
And I'm just open to it, universe. Whenever you're ready, please send it my way. I am open to receive your good deed. Okay, everybody, boys and girls and everyone in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you say boys and girls, everything in between?
Everyone in between, not thing.
Okay. What if dogs listen to our podcast?
Well, they're a one.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, it's time for pocketed punchlines. It's pocketed punchlines. It's pocketed punchlines time.
Boom.
That was pretty good.
That was good. That was beautiful.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Let's explain really quick, just in case it's someone's first episode.
If this is your first time, these are jokes that we wrote in the notes on our phone that we either have not done on stage or we just wrote and never thought about again. And we tried to see if it's funny or if it's something we can add to our set and just see where it takes us. So I have one. It's a bit about how I hate waiters and waitresses who memorize your order and don't write it down.
Yeah. Okay.
So
let's see how yours is. Let's see.
Different from, obviously a lot of people hate it. So No,
I don't hate it. Just Ellen DeGeneres did a whole bit on this in her special.
Yeah. And maybe because I'm Ellen too. This is from 2018. So this is pre her special.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But my complaint is when they get back to the table, I have to reopen the menu just to remember what I wanted to order. And they're just going to remember on the first try, F you.
Didn't you used to be a waiter?
I did, yeah.
Did you write it down?
Oh, I wrote it down. I had shorthand, so
did you
chicken fried steak with CFS.
You highlighted everything. You had it color coded.
I didn't have it color coded, but I would
wrote it down. I'm tagging up your joke.
Oh, I thought you were asking for real.
You think that I actually thought you would write down the order, go back, highlight each thing, make little
Some people
pictures, make little pictures on it, put little notes. And then Jim said he wanted lemon, and then he said, I don't want lemon, so maybe just put lemon on the side.
I mean, those are. You haven't been a server, so you don't know. You write down, I would do salad, and I would do, BC for blue cheese, and then I would cross things out as I brought them to make sure I knew I brought it. So if somebody's like, hey, you never brought me XYZ, I would be like, oh my God, I never put the order in. Or I'd be like, oh no, that came out. Yeah. Somebody must have taken it or whatever. So it was a system. So to me, it's, so frustrating that it's more a joke about my anxiety that, I literally will have to open the menu and find what I ordered just to remember what it is. It's okay, I want a cheeseburger. I'm rehearsing it as the waiter approaches. And then when they come by, I'm like, what do I want? Let's open it again.
It is stressful. And also it's really stressful when you change your mind or change something about the order and they're like, okay, got it. And you're just like, do you? Okay, but how is yours different than Ellen DeGeneres?
And mine's more the focus on my anxiety of it. It's not so much that what is the waiter doing once they memorize the order? For me, it's I can't even memorize my own order, and I picked it. and you're going to memorize my order on the first try? Like, you don't know me. You don't know me.
I think that it could work, but it would have to be like super duper specific to your anxiety, and then your anxiety as a waiter, like how you would do it and how you did it. Like, otherwise it's too similar to hers.
Okay.
I think. But I think it's good. I mean,
it was just part of a bunch of stuff about having anxiety and how it makes you different.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
it.
I like it.
Okay. How about you?
Oh, shoot. I gotta get mine. Hold on. Here I go in my phone.
For pocketed punchlines, we got the funnies in our pockets and the funnies in our lockets. Yeah.
That was good. All right. I'm going to just click on this. Okay. Oh, boy. First two things say Bath and Body Works and licking vaginas. Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's roll past that. Not that one.
Oh, I actually remember this very vividly. Oakland saying, "Happy birthday. We know what she wants. Boyfriend got me necklace for my birthday. Didn't wear it because I don't want you to think I'm happy."
Wow.
Yeah, but I got it not only to celebrate my birthday, but also my 1000th blowjob. I'm a giver. He got it from Kay.
Wow.
This was written on, well, obviously it was around my birthday. Nope, it wasn't around my birthday at all. It was
just making shit up.
It was written on March 1st, 2018 at 7:21 p.m. The Oakland saying happy birthday. You know what? I think I probably wrote this as a note as from a past memory, because Oakland saying happy birthday. Do you remember when what happened?
No.
Oh, my window got smashed.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Nope.
the way that Oakland says, happy birthday, they smash your window, and then they take nothing out of your car.
Nope.
They just are like, hey, just, big F you, and there's your window.
Yeah.
Enjoy spending $500 to replace that.
Mm-hmm.
The boyfriend getting me a necklace thing, well, first off, it was you.
Yeah, it would have been.
What necklace would that have been?
I got you, like, the infinity necklace. I remember that.
Oh, I did break that. Cheap. It was cheap. That's why it broke. No, just kidding. But yeah. For my 1000th blowjob, that's actually kind of funny. I got jewelry. Like, I give my 1000th blowjob, and then like confetti falls, balloons come down, and they come out with a check, and they're like, "Congratulations!
Yeah.
You've given your 1000th blowjob. Here's a necklace with an infinity sign." But it's like,
that's like not the commercial that they use for K. That's not. Could you imagine?
I did have a joke about every kiss begins with K. No, every kiss should begin with consent.
Yep.
But that's actually kind of funny, because is it the 1000th blowjob I've given to that boyfriend, or is it 1,000? Yeah, for the life.
Ooh.
Drama. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we have. I hope that everyone listening had some kind of epiphany.
I hope so. Even if that epiphany is, we need to listen to more Drew and Aurora. They make us happy.
Yes, exactly. Gosh, if you're listening to this, you kind of already know where to find us, but watch our YouTube channel, because now we have a dog, and she's so cute, and she's laying on half on the table, half on my lap.
Yeah.
But follow us at The Levin Comedy Podcast on everything. Well, mostly just Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
But you can listen to us everywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can watch us on YouTube. And please like and subscribe and download and thumbs up and rate and smash any kind of subscription button. Just really beat the crap out of it. That would be just like really abuse that button. Please share with your friends and share the epiphanies and breakthroughs. I've been Aurora Singh, one of your hosts. You can follow me at Aurora Singh Comedy on all the socials, and you can check out my website, aurorasingcomedy.com, for all upcoming live shows and updates. And also, I just started an Amazon affiliate, so you can also go look at the things that I tell you to buy. Yeah.
And I'm Drew Shafer. You can find me at Drew Shafer Comedy everywhere. That's DrewShafer Comedy. And yeah, I don't have my website up to date, so just follow me on social media. I'm posting so many clips. And thanks for listening.
Also, we put out episodes every single Thursday.
Every Thursday.
And Also, Lucy wanted to say, hey, and she loves you. That's our dog's name.
Yep. All right. So thanks for listening, watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Love you.